Your brain has been hijacked, but not by social media, by food. The constant mental noise about food is draining your cognitive resources. Every craving is controlling you. Every thought of food is distracting you. I've lived this experience many times. That constant mental chatter about what to eat, when to eat, and the guilt after eating something I shouldn't have. So we are not here to talk about another diet. This is a 30-day rescue mission. I've learned what the Spartans mastered ages ago, what Shaolin monks, warrior monks, have practiced for centuries, and what fully ordained spiritual masters have known for millennia. Short-term restriction is the path to long-term freedom. What I learned was that your afternoon crash isn't because you have a caffeine deficiency. Your breakfast might be the problem. Those whole grains, which everyone says are great, they gave me brain fog and energy crashes for years. This is just one example of many. If you're not feeling great, then your body's trying to tell you something. The problem is, you don't know what your body is trying to tell you. You can't hear it through all the noise and confusion. So I eliminated everything except the cleanest foods for 30 days. Days 1 through 3 were hell, of course. The headaches and exhaustion made me want to quit. Day 6, however, everything changed. I woke up with the kind of energy that I hadn't felt in years without coffee. Mental clarity like someone had finally cleaned my windshield. The mental chatter about food, it was just a quiet whisper, and we were only on day 6. This is the big reset, a 3-phase journey that transforms you and has transformed me and many of my clients from being puppets of our cravings to the pilots of our own biology. First, you prepare. You set yourself up to win. Then, you persist. You push through the discomfort and emerge transformed. Finally, you prevail. Your body's intelligence awakens and you feel phenomenal. 30 days, 3 phases, 1 outcome. You become the energized and connected pilot of your own biology. But here's what most people miss. There's actually a 4th phase that turns something like this 30-day reset into lifelong wisdom. I'll walk you through exactly what that is right after we cover the main 30 days, so don't go anywhere. You'll feel better than you remember feeling, and you'll finally be connected to and understand what your body is saying. Let me show you exactly how to do this. Throughout this episode, I'll be referencing the body compass food zones. Just so you can follow along, the red zone is foods that nobody should be eating. The green zone are foods that anyone can eat freely and should maximize. And the yellow zone is foods that we need to test individually because it depends. If you want the full poster with all the specific foods listed in a beautiful visual way, you can grab it for free. The link is in the description. So, what makes this different from every diet that you've already tried? Well, diets restrict for short-term wins, like losing weight. This big reset elimination protocol uses temporary restriction to gain long-term freedom, clarity, and experiential knowledge. Diets are external rules which we depend on for guidance. This big reset is aimed at restoring the clarity so that we can make our own informed decisions. We can cultivate our own nutritional wisdom. And this isn't about relying on willpower. It's about following a system that enhances your discipline and connection as a skill. It's about understanding your body and building new habits. It's genuinely the same approach that Shaolin monks and spiritual masters have used for a long time to achieve the kind of peace and connection that most of us don't even know is possible. The real mission here is to silence the noise and reclaim our energy, clarity, and connection. This is a rite of passage, and it has 3 critical phases, plus the often overlooked but extremely powerful 4th phase. Now, before we go any further, there is one necessary interruption. If you have any medically diagnosed condition, you need to understand something. You're technically the medical industry's property. They own your disease management. So before you dare make any health-related decisions for yourself, like choosing what you put in your mouth, you must consult with your disease practitioner. Otherwise, I could get in a lot of trouble for stealing their business. So please, if you have any diagnosed condition, go ask permission from your doctor before doing the big reset. I told you, my legal box is checked. For everyone else who's ready to take back control, let's get into it. Because success happens way before day 1 of our 50 days. Every failed diet has one thing in common: poor preparation. You wouldn't go into battle without preparing, and this is your battle for the sovereignty of your own mind and your own body. The Shaolin monks have a saying: food is not just fuel. It is a tool for self-development. How you prepare is the first step in that process. You're going to create an environment where success is the only possible outcome. And you know this step matters. If you've ever failed a diet in the first week, if you've ever reached for something you shouldn't have simply because it was right in front of you. Failure lives in poor preparation. So the first things first, the pantry purge. You must be ruthless. If it's not in the green zone, it's a liability. Get it out of your house. Period. Don't tell yourself you will just avoid it. That's your inner addiction and dependence trying to negotiate with you. Remove it completely. Open your pantry. Every processed food goes. Cookies, crackers, pasta, bread, that so-called healthy granola. Gone. Those protein bars? Trash. Good. Now your fridge. Clear out everything that isn't a whole food. If it has more than one ingredient, it's got to go. After the purge, it's time to stock up. The green zone supply run. You go shopping once. You buy everything you need for the first week. Grass-fed beef, wild salmon, avocados, olive oil, and a mountain of leafy greens. Check out the poster for the options. Your fridge should look like a fortress of vitality. Get enough for the full week. Do not leave any decisions to make while you're at your weakest. The third phase is the stimulant taper. If you're a heavy coffee drinker, do not stop on day 1. You will fail, or you'll make it a lot harder for yourself. For 3 days leading up to your start, cut your intake by half each day. This minimizes the withdrawal shock and prevents the caffeine headache from derailing the much bigger mission in motion. Finally, write down your why. Why are you doing this? To have the energy to build your business, to be present with your family, to finally feel in control of your health? Write it down, put it on the mirror, look at it every day. I remember when I first prepared, I had to get rid of loads of foods that were pretending to be healthy. Almond milk, gluten-free bread, organic cereals. All of it was keeping me from becoming my best self, from feeling my best self. I replaced it with real food, simple food. My fridge started to look like a farmer's market. Then you can enter day 1 calm and ready. No temptations, no decisions, just execution. The battlefield is prepared, and it's prepared on your terms. Now you are ready. Let's talk about what happens after we prepare. In that first week, days 1 through 7 are the Crucible. This is where the old self, the self controlled by cravings, must die. And the new self is forged in the fire of persistence. This is where your dependencies are broken and your body's intelligence begins to awaken, to start to stir. And I won't lie to you, it's hard, but it's supposed to be hard. Freedom is not for free. This first phase is your initiation. Physiologically, you are experiencing withdrawal. Your brain's reward system, your dopamine circuits, they've been hijacked up until this point by engineered foods. Those perfect combinations of sugar, salt, fat, and caffeine, they've turned food into your drug. And at this point, you've gone cold turkey and your brain is screaming for its fix. This is where the mental chatter about food will be at its loudest, almost unbearable. But this is just before it's silenced, the storm before the calm. Your body is recalibrating, not switching to ketones like in a fast, but breaking free from food as a drug manipulation. Your energy will start to transform from the roller coaster of quick burning glucose and caffeine highs and lows to something steadier, something cleaner and more reliable. You're switching from running your high performance engine on vegetable oil to something more like a rocket fuel. But that takes time to transition. This is where your body is adapting, and this is where you need to persist. So here's exactly what to expect. Days 1 through 3 are peak withdrawal, headaches, irritability, brain fog. This is the feeling of poison, toxicity leaving the system. It's supposed to feel like this. We are repenting. Days 4 through 7 are the resistance phase. The physical withdrawal fades, but your brain throws tantrums for comfort foods. This is where warriors are forged. Weeks 2 and 3 are liberation. Your energy stabilizes and steadily rises. Mental clarity emerges, your taste buds reset. Everything changes. So here's your battle plan. Aggressively hydrate. Drink filtered water all day. I'm talking about 2 liters a day. Liberally salt your food. Use high quality natural salts. This is not the time for you to fear salt. It is the essential mineral that will carry you through this phase. Put it on everything. Your body needs those minerals. Prioritize sleep and avoid strenuous exercise just for a moment. Your body is undergoing a massive system upgrade. Give it the resources to do the work and the space to recover. 8 hours of sleep minimum. And put a little bit of attention into your sleep hygiene. Do a little bit of research. Listen to a few podcasts. Up your sleep game. Is your sleep enough? And is your sleep quality? When it comes to movement, be gentle. Walk, stretch. Definitely don't run a marathon on day 3. Day 3 was my worst day. I had a splitting headache, zero energy, and for sure I wanted to quit. This is the stage of persistence. But instead, all I could do, all that was available to me, was to drink a huge glass of water with some sea salt and take a nap. I woke up feeling better, no surprise, but the persistence to not break the commitment and to do those things which are good for me and going to support me, those are the key. It was on day 5, though, when everything started to change for me. I woke up before my alarm and my head was clear, like someone had finally turned on the lights. On day 6, I actually felt energized again. I had a surge of clean energy that I hadn't ever received from any cup of coffee. It was a pure and vital kind of life force power. I knew then that I'd broken through to something new, to a new stage. The breakthrough always comes, usually around day 5 to 7, depending on where you're coming from. You wake up different, the fog lifts, your energy surges, you realize you haven't thought about food all morning, you're not craving anything, you're not planning your next move, your every move around your next snack. Your dopamine system resets, systemic inflammation drops. Your brain literally becomes more plastic, more capable of learning and building new habits. This moment, when you transition into this new phase, this will be your first taste of freedom, real freedom. And this brings us to the final phase. Days 8 through 30 are your reward. This is where you prevail. With the inflammatory load gone and your brain running on clean energy, you enter a new state of being. Someone who isn't controlled by food. Someone who makes deliberate choices. Someone who feels more conscious. The noise is gone, and now you can finally hear some of what your body has been trying to tell you all along. The constant, draining mental chatter about food is disappearing. You'll even have moments of complete silence. This is mental freedom. And the mental energy you used to spend fighting cravings and planning your next fix, now it's free to be used on whatever actually matters to you. Your work, your mission, your life, your relationships. Your gut is healing, your microbiome is resetting. Don't forget, 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut. When your gut heals, your mood will lift. Your anxiety will drop, your focus will sharpen. You're producing steady energy all day. No crashes, no cravings, just clean, sustainable energy. Your executive functions sharpen. Your focus deepens. Your memory becomes more reliable. Your willpower, which you thought was a limited resource, it starts to feel limitless because it's no longer being drained by 1,000 tiny battles against your own biology all day. This is food freedom. Food becomes simple. You eat when you're hungry. You stop when you're full. Whole foods, real foods, taste more and more vibrant. Calm, sustained energy all day with effortless focus. You're still only eating green zone foods, but I would recommend starting a food diary, noting down your energy, your clarity, your digestive comfort, your recovery, and you can start to connect with what your gut needs before you eat. Start to really tune in to what your new system is asking for. I would also begin gentle exercise, moving. Nothing too crazy, nothing too strenuous, but movement is medicine. You'll need to figure out what that means for you. In week 3, I had a revelation. Sitting at my desk, working on a complex project, I looked up. 3 hours had passed by. No coffee breaks, no snack runs, no mental fatigue, just pure focus. It was around day 18 when I had a profound realization. It wasn't just not eating certain foods. I was actually starting to have a conversation with my body. I was finally starting to notice some of the things it was saying to me. And when day 30 finally arrives, you're transformed. Not just physically, psychologically. You establish a relationship between your conscious mind and your body's innate intelligence. You stop seeing food as the enemy or a temptation, and you start seeing it as pure information. You've also proven you can do hard things now. You've broken free from food addiction. You've reclaimed agency over your own biology. The gifts you bring back from this journey and the rite of passage and the persistence, the gifts of freedom, the gifts of power, clarity, wisdom, connection, peace. You have a much better understanding of what fuels you and what drains you. But here's what most people miss. A big reset elimination protocol isn't just 30 days. There's a fourth phase that must follow if you want maximum impact. And this is the reintroduction protocol. This is where you become a scientist of your own body. After 30 days of green zone eating, you have a clean baseline. It's an amazing opportunity. Now you test one yellow zone food every 3 days. You eat it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you return to the green zone after that 3rd day. You have a single moderate serving of the yellow zone food, day 1, day 2, day 3. You return to the green zone and you track your reactions. There's a reintroduction ladder and an order, recommended order on the poster. Check it out. Start with eggs, then nightshades, then nuts. There's a sequence I would recommend. Your body will tell you exactly what works and what doesn't. It will tell you what you're reacting to and what you're not. Follow it meticulously. Some foods will bring back the brain fog immediately. Others might cause bloating the next day. Some will be perfectly fine. This is exactly how you build your personalized nutrition blueprint. Not from a book, not from a guru, from your own body's direct feedback and your observations of reality. This is where I discovered that I needed a break from nuts and eggs. Within 6 hours of eating almonds, my focus was shot. Eggs gave me subtle brain fog and bloating 24 hours later. Dairy triggered my sinus congestion up to 48 hours later. My body had been screaming this information at me for years, but I wasn't equipped to listen. There was too much noise and I wasn't paying attention. This data is priceless and it's yours forever. What you discover is not a life sentence, but it does tell you more about what your body needs right now. Plus, you achieve a deeper understanding of your body's unique food language. Every meal becomes a conscious and deliberate act of communication. What you are being guided to eat by your gut, and how does your mind and body respond to what you're eating. You are no longer guessing. You are knowing. You are no longer depending. You are steering, authoring, directing, responding to reality as it is for you. The data you collect is the map to your personal, unique biology. You are no longer following my rules or anyone else's. You are following the data from the reality of your own body. And this is how you turn a 30-day reset into lifelong wisdom that you can trust. These phases work together like a combination lock. You skip the preparation and you'll fail when you need to persist. Quit when you need to persist, you'll never prevail. Stop before introduction and you'll miss the personalized wisdom. But complete all phases. This journey takes you from being a puppet, controlled by cravings and external rules, to being the pilot, guided by the reality of your own body's wisdom and state. You become someone who makes conscious choices, deliberate choices, someone who reads their body's signals, someone who has broken free from food prison. The transformation is profound. The research backs it up. Studies show that these protocols can lead to a 32% rate of full remission from depression and an 84% rate of clinically relevant cognitive improvements. You're not just changing your diet, you're upgrading your entire operating system. Your next step is simple. Your first step on the path is to get the map. I've put the entire body compass framework, including the green, yellow, and red food zones, into a single page poster. Download it for free. The link is in the description. Print it, put it on your fridge. This is your guide for the big reset. Pick your start date. Make it within the next 7 days. This weekend, prepare. Clear out, stock up. Taper off caffeine. Monday, begin. And here's my question for you. You have to know your enemy before you can defeat it. What's the one food you think you can't live without? That's probably the exact food keeping you stuck. So what's the biggest source of food noise in your life right now? What's the one food you feel controls you? Drop it in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are held hostage by the same foods. And if you're ready to start your big reset, type day 1 below. Or day 0 if you're going to start tomorrow. Declare your first step. Let's reclaim our brains together.